Hello everyone. In today class we will discuss cell interpretive cycle, which means that we will know that how exactly the command can be executed on behalf of the user. Under this we are discussing wildcards, 3 standard files and redirection, connecting commands, basic and extended regular expressions, the grep and egrep commands. As we know in the first chapter, the cell is interface between operating system and user. So that is the reason we can call as an command interpreter. Whenever we are entering a particular command in the input terminal, it translates the command into actions taken by the system. When we log in into the system, we are given a default cell, means it is a B cell. When cell startup, it reads the startup files and may set the environment variables. We will discuss these environment variables in coming part. Command search paths is a path name required for the command execution. Command aliases means alternative names if there for a particular command, and executes any command specified in these files. The original cell was the Bourne cell. Every Unix platform will either have a Bourne cell or a Bourne compatible cell available. So other than this Bourne cell, we are having the different shell like Korn shell, C shell, B shell. Okay. These are some of the activities performed by the cell in its interpretive cycle. The first activity, the cell issues the prompt and waits for the user to enter the command. That means when you are logging into the system, after that if I open the terminal, in that terminal the cell is waiting for the user to enter a particular command. When the user is enter the command, that command is executed on behalf of the user. That's what the second point we can see that here. After command is entered, the cell scans the command line for a meta characters. Means if I return a one command like ls, then chapter, that is a chop of asterisk symbol. Here asterisk is the meta character. Means first execution of the command, it will find the meaning of the asterisk. According to that, the action has been taken place. It then passes on the command line to the kernel for the execution. As we know that whenever the command is entered by the user, that command is translated by the cell to the kernel. Then the kernel will execute the command and displays the output on the screen. In this case, the cell waits for the command to complete and normally cannot do any work while the command is running. Means if suppose the particular command is executed, in that case the cell is in ideal state. Once the command execution is complete, the prompt reappears and the cell returns its waiting role to start the next cycle. We are free to enter the next command. So this is the normal activities what we are performing as part of the cell interpretive cycle. Next, we have a wildcards. Here wildcard is nothing but it is a pattern using a specific ordinary characters, so that the ordinary character itself is what we can call as a meta character. Next, the pattern can then be used as an argument to the command and the cell will expand it suitably before the command is executed. That's what I taken the example so far. If I take the ls command with chop asterisk, before execution of the ls command, it will find the meaning of the chop asterisk. That means the chapter file is ended with the different character like 01, 02, 03, X, Y, Z, like that. The third point here, the meta characters that are used to construct the generalized pattern for matching file names belonging to a particular category is called wildcards. Just as I taken the one example, just you can find it here. ls command with the chop 1, chop 2, chop 3, chop x, chop y, chop z. Instead of writing all the file names, just we need to write only one file name, that is chop, containing the meta character. That is also we can call as a wildcard. Here asterisk symbol is representing what? And pattern, or it is a meta character. Okay. Then just like asterisk, we have other meta characters. Go through the one by one. As we discussed already, that is a asterisk symbol. Any number of the characters including none. None means 0. 0 or any number of the characters. The meaning of that. Then question mark, single character. So it will take the single character. If I write chop question mark, it may take X, Y, Z that way. It can't take the XY. Then we have IJK, that to be represented in square bracket, that indicate a single character, either it is I or J or K. Next we have X to Z square bracket again. It is specifying the single character, but within that range. Within that range. Next, negation of IJK, a single character that is not an I, J or K other than this. Similarly, not of X, Z, then single character, it is not a X, not a Z in that range. Then we are having pattern 1, pattern 2. So that means we are matching the multiple patterns, pattern 1 and pattern 2. Next we are having the asterisk and question mark. To list all the files that begin with the chop, we can use this symbolic notations or command line, that is ls with chop asterisk symbol. Yes. So this way we can list all the files which begin with the chop. If I am interested to list all the file names which are containing the 6 character but begin with the chop, so instead of using the asterisk symbol, I can use the question mark. As we discussed so far, the question mark is representing one character at a time. So in this case, I am using the 2 question mark. That means we are matching the 2 single characters. So that means we can list the files chop x, y, x, z, yes, like that. Both asterisk and question mark operate with some restrictions, means some conditions. The asterisk does not match all the files beginning with the dot of the root path name, means it could not listing the current directory, or it might be a parent directory. If we wish to list all the hidden file names in your directory having at least 3 characters after the dot must be matched explicitly. So in this case, we need to use the ls command with question mark, 3 question marks, that is a 3 characters. Then asterisk 0 or many characters. However, if file name contains a dot anywhere, but at the beginning it need not be matched explicitly. So we can write it as a ls employee strict lst. So output of this command line is employee dot lst, employee 1 dot lst, employee 2 dot lst. Yes, it could not matching. So if you wanted to list only employee dot list, in that case I need to use the question mark. The character class, we can frame more restrictive patterns with the character class. The character class comprises a set of characters enclosed by the rectangular brackets but matches the single character in the class. If I having the one pattern like ABD is a character class and it matches the single character A, B or D. Just we can find the examples. ls chop 0, in square bracket we can find the 1, 2, 4. That means currently we are matching the file name begin with the chop but 01, 02, 04. It is not like 0, 1, 2, 4. It is only taking the one character from the frame. Similarly, we can have one more example, chop xz. That means it can match either chapter X, chapter Y, chapter Z. It could not match the other than these three files. We can negate this class, means character class, by using the negation symbol. Just we can find the one example as I taken. Asterisk dot negation of CO means we are matching all the file names with a single character extension but not the .c or a .o. There is one more example. We match all the file names that do not begin with the alphabetic characters. Means as we are using the negation of A to Z, that is a small a to z to capital A to Z here. We are having the three files associated with the cells. One is standard input, one more is standard output and standard error. The standard input is representing the input connected to the keyboard, whereas standard output is representing the output connected to the terminal display. The standard error representing the error messages that emanate from the command or cell. Again, it is also connected to the standard display. So one thing we need to understand, these are the three standard files we are using as part of the cell environment. So whenever you are performing the input operation, the corresponding standard input file will be executed. Whenever we wanted to display the output on the screen, then the standard output will be executed. Whenever there is an error message with related to the command execution, in that case standard error file will be executed. So with respect to these three files, we will discuss some more concepts in the next video. Thank you.